Dr. Pacoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Shut up already. Damn. Tell me who in this house know about the quake? I mean, really? Really? If you know how to rock, say yeah.
Yeah.
If you know how to party, say oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But if you ain't hip to the rare housequake, shut up already. Damn. Housequake. Everybody jump up and down. Housequake. Oh, there's a brand new groove going round. In your funky town. And the kick drum is the fault. You gotta rock this mother set. We gotta rock this mother set. We gonna show you what to do. You put your foot down on two. You jump up on the one. Now you're having fun. You're doing the housequake. Hey, question. Does anybody know about the quake? Bullshit. You can't get on until you make the house shake. Now everybody clap your hands. Come on. Let's jam, y'all.
Let's jam, y'all. Shoot.
Don't wait for your neighbor.
It is the Angel-Versary of Prince Rogers Nelson, and we are celebrating around here. Tavis Smiley will have 3 whole hours of Prince in his own words. Tavis, one of the few that got to sit down with Prince not just once but repeatedly. They were actually friends. And who is on the phone with me now? She is our entertainment specialist. She specializes in as a digital creator in entertainment, sports, LA culture. She's a journalist, a host, a producer, and an LA legend, which is more than a notion. She is on this joint. She's on KBLA Talk 1580 Monday through Thursday from 6 to 7. Jill Munroe, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Thank you for having me. How are you this morning?
I'm great. It's always great to have you. Thanks for coming on. Why did you pick Housequake?
So I really love the Sign of the Times album. You know, that came after, obviously, Purple Rain, and then in between the album that had Kiss, whose name is escaping me at the moment. But I loved the film from it, and it just was a really good album. Adore was on there, other cuts. So it's a good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also a great, right, pick-me-up type song. And a lot of us need a little picking up right about now. But it's just funny because it's so hard to choose a favorite Prince song. Is that your
I can't. I have favorite eras of Prince and the songs, but they change a lot because Prince is an artist where you love the deep cuts as much as you love the single releases, and just he evolved throughout his career, and so there's different moments. You know, the Revolution was there, then it was another band if you talk about the 90s Prince, so there's so many different vibes and feelings that you can get from his music.
Yeah, that was a Parade album, I think, that Kiss was on.
Yes.
Yeah, but you look back and it's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's these deep cuts, too. And then the ones that were more off the grid, you know, that weren't so much accepted by the mainstream. What do you think that he leaves us in terms of the business model? Because Prince was very outspoken and out loud about challenging the record company model that we had then. It's completely changed now to where the artists get almost nothing from the labels. But it feels like he was warning us when he wrote slave on his face. And when he complained about the internet, it's almost like he saw this coming.
Prince had this gift, this knack to kind of not only with his music, but he saw where the business was going. He understood the importance of holding on to your masters. He understood that that dictated what you could do in the future, how your career moved, where you could perform your own music, or who could access your music and art and interpret it in ways maybe that you didn't exactly gel with.
Yeah. And the streaming model, I almost feel like when he, took his music off the labels and sort of went online, it with his own ownership. That's what artists are struggling to do now, because people aren't making money off the streaming, so they're doing even.biz, they're doing Bandcamp. They're trying to sell directly off their websites to recapture some of that revenue. And, he was talking about that before we were even on streaming as a means of distribution for music.
Absolutely. And you see that even physical media is making a comeback as far as vinyl and things of that nature. I just think that he understood inherently how valuable ownership was to your product and dictating what happens to you in the future as far as income, as well as how your art is distributed and used.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was talking to Dr. Melina Abdullah yesterday, who I always tease her. She's the national and international president of the Prince fan club. She's got the tattoo. I've never seen a person, and I know some dedicated Prince fans. I've never seen one quite like her, but I just can't believe it's been 10 years.
So much has happened in that decade in how we live, we look where we are as far as almost 360 with Donald Trump back in, but worse. That's a separate conversation. However, I can't believe how quickly that decade has moved. We lost a lot of people in that year. We also lost someone who, though I know she distanced herself from it, I feel was like Prince's almost mirror for a great time. We lost Denise Matthews, who was Vanity in February of that year as well. So I can't help but wonder how Prince would feel about how his music is used now. There are some decisions I know that the estate has made that some of the fans feel wouldn't have lined up with his wishes, especially the release of music that he purposely held back. We know how Prince felt about his art and releasing music when he felt it was ready and not. So it's just that decade has flown by and so much has changed. I wonder what we would have gotten to see as far as his artistry. Would we have seen another Super Bowl performance from him? Would he have somehow found a way for streaming and the like to benefit him? Would we see him musically involved in something like Twitch or something of that nature where he could connect directly with fans? It's so many things to ponder.
Yeah, I think that's right. When we talk about artists' legacies after they pass, that's always a thorny issue, because most of the artists that I track do not have the kind of detailed living trusts in place that you would expect that they would have, that would contain directives as far as what's to be released, what's not to be released, who owns what, who has access to what. And what can be used in what manner, whether it's commercials or films or whatever, because we know that, yeah, he was very, very intentional about that in life. And I mean, we saw the huge battles over James Brown's music and estate, for example. This seems like an area where just a lot of artists, I mean, Prince was only 57 when he died. I don't think anyone expected him to go that young, but it's surprising to me how many artists do not have plans in place for when should they pass.
And I think even now, as you pointed out, how the business has changed, I think that it is so important to think about these things, although end-of-life conversations are difficult to have, but with the explosion of AI and AI images and how those things can be utilized, I think that you're right. It is a conversation that anyone, whether we're talking music or writers or actors and actresses, anyone involved in a creative means, maybe not even just a creative aspect, should be thinking about their digital life after they have moved on to the afterworld.
Yeah, I was reading how now there's an app where you can post after you're dead. I'm not quite sure how that works, but I'm imagining it has something to do with, scheduling posts that can keep going up after you die. Not sure I want to do that, Jill, but I mean, that's now an issue. How will we be represented in the digital world in the afterlife?
I mean, there are things that you can sign up for as far as your social media to have a trusted person in the event of your demise that can come and delete your social media or decides what happens to it. You think about all of the individuals that have passed away that have social media accounts that still sometimes gain followers or still there kind of as a living digital memorial, but it's something to think about because there are a lot of things happening, especially as far as technology goes, that we all should be thinking about in that manner.
Yep, especially with AI and deep fakes and all that, the stuff that could be made to appear you did, said, sung, danced, that you never really did. It's a whole other layer of problematic. Jill Munroe is with me this morning right now as we celebrate Prince Rogers Nelson. 800-920-1580 if you want to weigh in. I'm Dominique DePrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The joint will be jumping. Ebony Repertory Theater, in association with Big Street Films, brings you one of the most beloved musicals of all time. Tony Award winner, Ain't Misbehavin'. The soulful, swinging celebration of the music of Fats Waller. From the rollicking to the romantic, this show is pure magic, full of the songs that defined an era and the voices that'll make you forget everything else for a night. foot-stomping, heart-stirring, unforgettable. Don't miss Ain't Misbehavin' at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center, starring Lettucey, directed by Ren T. Brown. This is the night out you've been waiting for. Tickets are going fast, so don't wait. Grab yours now at ebonyrep.org or call the box office today at 323-964-9766. Ebony Repertory Theater, bringing the culture, keeping the legacy alive.
Ain't Misbehavin' runs May 21st through June 8th at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
They stand in the way of love and we will smoke them all with an intellect and a savoir-faire. No one in the whole universe will ever compare. I am yours now and you are mine, and together we'll love through all space and time, so don't cry. One day all seven will die.
That song. I love that song. Maybe says more about me than Prince, but woo! That one always works for me. Jill Munroe is joining me. You can see her every day from 6 to 7 here on KBLA Talk 1580. You can find her on IG at Stiletto Jill. Stiletto Jill, digital creator, entertainment, sports, and LA culture journalist. I want to ask you about his activism. It seems like Prince, he did put some messages in his music. Not all often were they overt. I mean, the song Baltimore is pretty overt, but many times it's more hidden. But his activism wasn't as well known. I mean, I feel like he kept a lot of stuff to himself. He didn't want the accolades. He didn't seek the spotlight for his charitable contributions. A lot of it did not come out until after he passed, right?
Yeah. And I think that is because Prince has always maintained a mystery about him, kind of kept his private life, but I think it was a genuine act, and he didn't want it clouded by the celebrity aspect that can come along with it. I think it just shows he just wanted to do good.
Yeah. And I mean, but it was far reaching, and from girls who code to movement for Black Lives Matter stuff to helping small business. I mean, he was just doing a lot of stuff. I think it's also pretty hard to be that secretive about that stuff if you're him and everyone has such intense interest in everything you do.
I mean, it certainly means that there was effort put in it by him to make sure that it was just of benefit to those organizations. And it also shows that he was really connected, because oftentimes I think when you reach a certain level of fame and you've been wealthy for a long time, sometimes you kind of lose touch, or you step out when it is of benefit to a project that you might have coming, or to help soften your image in rough times. And
Right.
Prince never did that. He just wanted to help good causes that he believed in.
Yeah, it's a great point. There's actually a fundraiser at the Glam Slam tonight. Maite and some of his other family members behind that, as a way of marking the decade since his death. They are raising money for charitable causes, and I think that seems like a really great way to mark his passing.
It is. It's something that was important. He was passionate about, that touched him privately. Obviously, it impacted his family as well, that they want to continue on with that in that manner in his name. So it shows who he really was.
We'll talk about the cause of his death, as Tavis pointed out. Just similar to Michael Jackson, they weren't just like, oh, let me do these drugs to party. They were trying to sleep. Prince was a vegan. He was very mindful about everything, his spirituality, everything. So how do you how do you place that in, in the context of his death from an accidental fentanyl overdose, which is, what it's been reported to have been?
I think that when you look at the context of who he was as a performer, what he wanted to give to the fans, and how he never wanted to let them down, give them a complete show, all the things that we expect as far as his performance, the splits, the energy, the jumping off the piano and things of that nature, what stands true with both of them is that they were sacrificing their body to still give their all to us as fans in performance. And that fueled a lot of these, seeking out medical help through drugs, prescription drugs, and so forth, in order for them to still be able to perform. I think it is an immense dedication to their craft that they took too far, but I think that is ultimately what it dials down to, their quest for perfection.
Yeah, I mean, according to this article I was reading in People magazine, he had gotten a counterfeit pill, and a lot of people we've heard reported are taking stuff that may be laced with fentanyl. They don't even know what they're taking is as dangerous as it is. But I think it's a great point about the physical pain. What 57-year-old can do those splits and jump around and, and fly through the air and all the things we expect of Prince or a Michael Jackson, where we kind of have this infantile idea that they should be superheroes or cartoon characters who never age and never change their presentation in that way.
Exactly. I think that the desire to give the people what they want. You look at, for example, New Edition, Boyz II Men, and Toni Braxton just got off tour. And I saw some conversation from some that, oh, well, New Edition doesn't look the same. Well, should they? They're almost 60. But I feel as though, we as fans, we want to see them still out there. We cheer for it, but we forget that it's a physical demand to get through the type of shows with the type of energy that these artists give us. And not saying that, it is our fault either, but it is a managed expectation thing because we say, well, I don't want to see them out there looking, slow and sad. So they make the effort to give us the type of show and the type of feeling that they gave us 20, 30, 40 years ago. And it's not always realistic.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, I mean, I think we feed into the social media thing where people have filters on their faces. And so we expect them to be filtered in real life, and that's not how it works. Even the greatest yogi and the person that takes care of themselves the most is still going to age to a degree. Even LeBron James, eventually is not going to play like 20-year-old LeBron James. So I think that's a fair point, and I hope that we can learn to embrace people where they are. What about his journey with his spirituality? I saw him at the Forum. That series of shows, super affordable shows he did at the Forum, which were amazing. I saw him with Mary J. Blige and Maceo Parker. But he had revised some of the songs, and clearly his newfound re-embrace of his faith was affecting even the lyrics to his music.
I think it once again goes with, people feel different things at different moments. I think that was during the time period where I know he didn't perform Darling Nikki anymore. He would kind of tease the keys of it, but then cut it off. You have to respect the artist for who they are. I mean, he gave us so much. If he opts not to give us a couple of those things, we have YouTube now. We can go and see those moments if we're missing them. But, I mean, I remember something similar happened with SWV for a while, that Coco didn't want to perform their hit Downtown. It's life. People change. They evolve. We all want the space to grow and change and do different things. So sometimes we're going to have to accept that some of our favorite songs might be omitted from the catalog moving forward, but we have means to go and access those moments. So I think we have to accept sometimes that, like you said, we're not frozen in that moment. Though it feels that way to us, we have to respect the growth of the artist and appreciate what they gave us.
And be happy that they don't freeze. I mean, some artists actually do freeze. They're still wearing the same outfit they wore in 1970. But Prince is a Gemini, and that's not how we roll. Jill, we just have a minute here. I'm so grateful that you spent the time with me this morning. I know folks will tap in with you. You'll have a great show this evening as well. What do you want to leave us with, though, this morning as we memorialize Prince?
I think if we learn anything from his life is just to be authentically you throughout the process. We saw Prince through several phases. We saw him grow. We saw him embrace different aspects of himself. And I think that we need to recognize that we are always in transformation from caterpillar to butterfly, and keep ownership of, make sure that we are minding our business. And ownership is important no matter what aspect you're talking about.
Yes, and we can be a different butterfly every time, right?
Basically.
Find Jill Munroe Monday through Thursday right here from 6 to 7 p.m. Find her on Instagram at Stiletto Jill, and find her wherever LA legends are found. Jill, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you, Dominique. I appreciate you.
Yes, we are. The phone lines are wide open. You got some amnesty if you want to share your favorite of the purple one. I'd love to hear from you. We're going to play some music. We're going to talk about it. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. In Shreveport, Louisiana, grief and outrage are mounting after the deaths of 8 black children in a mass shooting. Black City Councilwoman Tabitha Taylor delivered an emotional message to the community.
I think about the mother and what this family has lost, and I don't have the words to give you, and I'm sorry.
She says the community is broken and demands action to prevent more lives from being lost to gun violence. A Somali-owned transportation company in Minnesota is calling discrimination after its longtime contract was abruptly canceled. About 100 people rallied at the state capitol, warning the decision could lead to major layoffs and shut down one of the state's largest minority-owned businesses. And 2 of Kanye West's upcoming European concerts have been canceled. Sky News reports scheduled June shows in Switzerland and Poland were called off for legal and review reasons. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. and try our new chili crisp dumplings paired with a premium beverage drink like our new strawberry watermelon lemonade energy refresher, both for just $5 only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The number one storyline for Game 2 tonight in the Lakers playoff series against the Houston Rockets is whether Kevin Durant will be in the lineup. The 37-year-old Durant missed Game 1 Saturday with a bruised knee. The Rockets are listing Durant as a game-time decision. Durant is 5th on the NBA all-time scoring list. He leads the Rockets with 26 points per game. Despite Durant's uncertain status, the Rockets are still 4.5-point favorites to beat the Lakers tonight. 7:30 tip-off at Crypto.com. A.J. English is the new men's basketball coach at HBCU Virginia Union. English replaces Lester Butler, who became head coach at HBCU Winston-Salem State. English was the NCAA Division II Player of the Year in 1990. Later that year, he was a second-round pick in the NBA draft of the Washington Bullets. The Washington franchise changed their name to the Wizards in 1997. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Prince and the Revolution.
10 years ago, the world lost a genius.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life.
Prince trusted few people. Tavis Smiley was one of them.
Good evening from Los Angeles. I'm Tavis Smiley. Tonight, a rare conversation with one of music's biggest superstars, Prince.
Prince opened up to Tavis in ways he rarely did with anyone else. Honest, unfiltered, and unforgettable. on Tuesday, April 21st, as we mark the 10th anniversary of his transition. Experience 3 uninterrupted hours of Prince in his own words.
When people criticize my work and attack my personality, it doesn't help me. I can't do anything with it.
Don't just remember Prince, hear him.
We live in a place now that feels just about like a plantation. We're all indentured servants.
Tavis Smiley, Tuesday, April 21st, only on Tavis Smiley.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, host of The Voice of Reason, weeknights at 7 p.m. here on KBLA Talk 1580, with a personal invitation for you to join me and Insight.me as we present The Healing Box, live at Inglewood's world-famous Miracle Theater, Saturday evening, May 23rd at 7 p.m. Look, I understand your attachment style has been running your life like a rogue algorithm, and nobody has had the courage to press pause. Until now, Dr. Bakoya McCall and yours truly are curating a night where clinicians, spiritualists, and an all-star panel of Black woman healers like Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, Dr. Jashana Johnson, and spiritualist Precious McGill will join some amazing spoken word artists and the legendary comedian Louis Dix to diagnose, disrupt, and heal your relational wreckage in real time. Listen, bring your trauma. As a matter of fact, bring your baby mama. No, bring your testimony. And if you're still texting your ex at 2 a.m., baby, you're not just invited, you're the target demo. Tickets are moving fast, so grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before your dating history gets flagged as a pre-existing condition. That's themiracleinglewood.com. We'll see you there Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Miles, you got a favorite Prince song?
I do, and I'm laughing because I'm listening to what your favorite Prince songs are. And Prince is like, he's got songs about everything. He's got a wide variety of songs. And you love the spiritual, like soulful You know what I mean? Etherical type of Prince.
Right.
I like nasty Prince.
Well, nasty. We all like nasty Prince sometimes. What's your favorite nasty Prince?
Erotic City.
Really?
Yes.
That's your jam, Erotic
That's my
City?
jam. Erotic
Okay.
City, Lady Cab Driver.
Lady Cab Drivers is classic.
Yeah, them my one.
Well, I thought, Wanna Be Your Lover is pretty erotic.
Your love is pretty right. Yeah.
Do Me Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Darling Nikki. I mean, he definitely went there. But yeah, you're right. I tend to like the elevated and the low key political and the storytelling. I like If I Was Your Girlfriend, to me, is a great song too.
He's a hell of a writer, so
Yeah.
there's a lot to fall in love with, and he's very poetic. I admit I didn't get onto Prince's catalog until I was like a young adult. But I did grow up on Nasty Prince, so yeah.
Nasty Prince. Nasty Prince. Well, you're invited in to express your favorite or tell a story. I had the best time at the Forum. I wish I would have seen him more, but I don't like crowds. It's only now that I'm like, okay, Dominique, go see everybody. If I'm not emceeing or backstage doing interviews for some television or radio joint, I didn't go to a lot of shows. But when I saw him, he was with Mary J. Blige. He came out to play on one of her songs in a solo. And he came out like with his hair tied up, wrapped up, and he was no makeup on his face, and he had on like his sweats. He didn't have on his performing outfit. He was just like, oh, I'm going to jump up here with Mary J. It was so dope.
Do you remember? I know it's later in the day, but do you remember being on air when he passed?
Being on the air?
Yeah.
I wasn't on the mic at that moment. I had the opportunity to process and then come back the next day. Yeah. I think that for me, Prince was more obviously I loved his music, but for me as a young Black Italian girl coming up, there was that relating of not having to feel like you have to give up all of who you are to be firmly grounded in your blackness.
Yeah.
And that was super important to me as a little kid listening to Prince and how he was, he was able to embrace his, what people call biracial. I don't like that term because I think there's only one race. It's human. I think we're ethnically, culturally, nationally, religiously, we're bi things, but or multi things, but when it comes to race, I think it's just one. But I love the way he was able to embrace all of his different cultures and heritages and still be black, and that's not confusing when it's him.
So this gets my black card snatched out my pocket every time I bring it up.
Okay.
But I didn't see the movie Purple Rain until about COVID time. How did the movie impact you in that time, though?
Because it was such a big deal because, think about it. Back what year did that come out? And I wouldn't take your black card for that. Because back then it was 1984. We hardly even had black movies back then. It's not like now where you got Sinners and, you have different streaming options and you can just go to YouTube and watch black content. Back then, it was such a big deal to have any black film. And then to have one which is set in the world of the alternative reality of, Prince's metaverse.
Mind.
Yeah, was amazing. It was, it was powerful. It was beautiful because it was like acknowledging the reality that a lot of us lived in. Not that we were all running around with purple, trench coats on motorcycles or whatever, but because what wasn't reflected in the mainstream was reflected there. It just seemed like it opened up space.
Yeah, purple trench coats on a motorcycle. That's how I want to spend that's how I want my movie to be portrayed. Like, man, Miles makes his Miles Love movie, man. Whoever is cast as to be, make sure they're wearing purple trench coat riding a motorcycle. That's like the epitome of swag and rears right there. That's fire.
Yeah, and the do you energy, because he wasn't conforming to anything that we were seeing. Now it may seem more centered as something you've seen or would see, because people do all kinds of things on social media. But at that point, Hollywood had a chokehold on, we had 3 networks, ABC, NBC, CBS. And if it wasn't on network television, or somebody at a studio didn't greenlight it, we didn't get to see it in the mainstream. And so if you put the Prince movie in that context, Purple Rain in that context, it makes a lot more sense why we were so obsessed. I love that Minneapolis is having a huge party this year. They're not doing it on the Angel-Versary. They're doing it on the anniversary of they're doing it on his heavenly birthday. So they're going to have a festival between June 3rd and June 7th, which would have been his 68th birthday. And it's going to be citywide. It's being hosted by Paisley Park, which is now a museum dedicated to him. I definitely want to go to that museum. But they're doing this multiple day event, festival, party, remembrance for his birthday, because it is the 10 years since he made his transition. And so here in LA, we're doing the Angel-Versary. City Hall will be honoring him today. Councilmember Heather Hutt is doing an honoring in council chambers today at 10 if you want to go. Wear your purple, I'd say. And there is an event tonight, a Glam Slam style benefit concert for multiple charitable ventures that have been held together by his former wife, Maite Garcia, who was on yesterday with Tavis, in the charitable work that they started together. That's going to be tonight at the W in Hollywood. Sheila E. will be there. Taylor Dane will be there. There's going to be music performances. There is going to be, family and friends of Prince. And it is all to benefit Live for Love Charities, which is a nonprofit that started out of their philanthropic work together, and which Maite is continuing on as she centers his charitable work and reminds us that he was doing a lot. Even though he was quite secretive about it, he was doing a lot. Let's go to Kwamel calling us from Gardena. Good morning, Kwamel.
All right, I'll have to give you a quick one because I know you're up against the break. Basically, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the Minneapolis sound that kept the funk alive and also mixed it with a little bit of new wave, some boogie, some nice hard and soft rock. It mixes a lot of things and it puts a nice elegance to black musica. And if it wasn't for that man, I'm not sure we'd have Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis the way we did. Like think about that. All the hits they made. And Jesse Johnson and Wendy and Lisa and them. So like he kind of introduced the whole aesthetic to us, and I think kept the game on its toes and kept musicology running, which a lot of artists of today seem to kind of avoided in favor of just hitting a lick, getting a little bag, and putting their business in the streets on social media. I wish folks would kind of take cues from Mr. Nelson and bring some of the magic back, even with the loss of the monoculture.
What do you mean? What magic are we talking about?
Well, just in terms of the way instruments were approached. Prince and Stevie played like so many multiple instruments, multiple parts on a record. Didn't depend on synth. Synth alone, that is. Actually, got to play organic instruments too. So that and the way music was read and written, all the above. I think a lot of folks, and I'm gonna leave you with this, need to find their way back to it, or we are kind of gonna just be in the cesspool of kind of AI AI as the artist type music, and no human exploration. I thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Kwamel. I mean, to me, one of the characteristics of a giant, whether an industry or arts or entertainment giant, is that they do put other people on, that they have the ability to spot talent, nurture talent, and bring people forth, whether they were iconic cultural figures like Vanity Fair and those folks, or Vanity Six and those folks, or Vanity Fair, or whether it be the Time, or whether it be all the folks that copy them. That's another issue. But the folks that actually come through them, I think, that's an important aspect of his contribution, is all the other folks that were put on as a result, the entire entertainment ecosystem that comes out of that Minneapolis sound, and that is then spawned from it, whether it's in the fashion sense or the actual strictly musical sense. And this is another person, Prince is one of those rare people who can defy genre, because he can play rock, as you point out, rock tinged music, pop feel music, real funky funk music, and we accept it. And again, if you put this in the context of the time when everything was in strict categories and music was even more segregated then than it is now, I feel like hip hop has played a huge role in breaking down those categories. But at the time, rock, soul, funk, R&B, disco, all were vehemently segregated and had their own drinking fountains. And I believe that Prince Rogers Nelson was one of the folks that was able to break those categories down, along with the entire hip-hop generation. Not too late to call me if you want to share your favorite song or story. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Dominique DePrima, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Hello, this is Dr. Rosa Milligan calling authors and business owners to register now for Black Writers on Tour plus Business plus AI Expo, Saturday, April 25th, 10 to 4 p.m. at the Carson Event Center.
Learn how to write, publish, and sell your book. Business owners are looking for you now. Let them know where you're at. Call 323-750-3592. Free admission and parking. You heard right, free. Powerful seminar lineup. Go to blackwritersontour.com and register today. 323-750-3592.
Literacy is everybody's business. Black Writers on Tour at the Carson Event Center, Saturday, April 25th, 10 to 4. See you there. 323-750-3592. Visit blackwritersontour.com. Don't you miss it.
Join the California Community Colleges for Black Student Success Week's free webinars April 20th to 23rd from 6 to 7 p.m. Get the facts and the support you need to succeed, like how to get cash for college or how to earn your bachelor's degree at a community college in a high-demand field. Log on daily for your chance to win scholarships to help pay for tuition. Register now at icangotocollege.com. That's icangotocollege.com. Getting around LA doesn't have to cost a lot. Metro has fares that fit every budget. 20 free rides for qualified riders through the Life Fare program. Free passes for students with GoPass and affordable options for everyone in between. Wherever you're going, Metro's got you covered. Visit metro.net/fare programs.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DePrima on First Things First.
That one's for you, Miles. Little, what you call Nasty Prince?
Nasty Prince, little nasty man.
Yes, indeed. They're still mad in the chat that Vanity wasn't in Purple Rain because, of course, her and Prince broke up. And then they had some disputes over royalties and money, which is normal for a breakup. And he got Apollonia, who does look a bit like Vanity, but not quite. Anyway, they're still mad about that. I love our KBLA delegation. They don't forget anything. They leave no stone unturned. Fahima tells me when will we be paid is her favorite. That's a cover that Prince did. And it's the B-side to You Make My Sunshine. A couple of other folks here sharing their favorites. Yeah, they're all over the map. Let's go to Big Phil calling us from L.A.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Devil Don't Sleep. My favorite song of Prince, I know we got to go, is Time. That's one of the coldest jam you ever made, Time. I talked about Bobby Womack. One of my clients, he's one of my clients. He's in the Hall of Fame, Bobby Womack. He's what gifted he was. He could have got some help when he got on drugs, but it's sad, really sad. But I love the brother. Time, okay?
Yes, I almost forgot about that song. It's a great song. Yes, indeed. It's such a prolific songwriter. I mean, we talk about his dancing and his guitar playing and his sort of vision in terms of seeing where the industry was going, not just musically, but business-wise. But the actual number of hits, and not hits, but songs that are significant and important, is vast. I mean, it's just a huge, huge catalog of songs. I forgot about Time. That is a great one. So if you want to go, I think you can still get tickets to tonight's charitable event at the W in West Hollywood here in the city of Los Angeles. It's not West Hollywood, it's actually Hollywood proper, the W Hotel. I think you can still get tickets to that. Sheila E. will be there. I'll be there. I can't wait to go. I think that it's going to be not just a chance to maybe rub elbows with some members of his family, Maite Garcia, who is putting that on, but also a really great way to support the charitable vision that he had, which lives on. They're doing things like training young musicians, supporting young musicians who are being trained, which is where the synergy comes with the LA Jazz Festival. As you know, I'm on the board. It's coming up the 22nd, 23rd. That's the finale on the beach, but Jazz on the Beach, which is amazing. But also there are 12 days of community events, and they are very much in alignment with the charitable vision of Prince, the Live for Love charities. Live for Love, it's the number 4 if you want to look up where you could find those tickets for this evening. Very much in alignment with the mission of the Jazz Festival, supporting musicians, supporting innovation, training young artists who don't have the kind of money that they need to be at that high level of instruction, whether it be dance or music. They have Live for Music and Live for Dance, which come under the Live for Love charitable portfolio. And, as a mama, I know these things add up. And so this is just another way to keep not just the music, but the charitable vision of Prince alive. In addition to that, as I've said, he'll be honored today in front of LA City Council. She said, Maite said they started that charity 30 years ago, and she's carrying it on with tonight's event. And, of course, the LA City Council will honor Prince today at 10 a.m. If you want to go down to City Hall and participate, I say wear your purple, show up and show out the way that we do here in Los Angeles. Really excited to spend the next 3 hours. I guess I'll be listening on my headphones while attending the City Hall tribute to Prince as told to Tavis Smiley in his own words. Very rare. Didn't give a lot of interviews to most people. Gave a lot of interviews to Tavis. They were actually friends. I always hoped that I would get to interview him, but that never happened. Never met him at all, but I did get to go see him perform. And so I'm looking forward to this special. That is what is up next today. 3 full hours of Prince in his own words as told to Tavis Smiley. Don't forget to tap in with me on social media. I'm at Diprima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio on all platforms. You can also find us at KBLA 1580 everywhere. KBLA 1580 on all platforms. I'll leave you with a quote from my dad, the poet laureate, the late poet laureate of New Jersey, Amiri Baraka. He said, "A person is either free or they are not free. There can be no apprenticeship for freedom." Until tomorrow, KBLA delegation, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. In Shreveport, Louisiana, grief and outrage are mounting after the deaths of 8 black children in a mass shooting. Black City Councilwoman Tabitha Taylor delivered an emotional message to the community.
I think about the mother and what this family has lost, and I don't have the words to give you, and I'm sorry.
She says the community is broken and demands action to prevent more lives from being lost to gun violence. A Somali-owned transportation company in Minnesota is calling discrimination after its longtime contract was abruptly canceled. About 100 people rallied at the state capitol, warning the decision could lead to major layoffs and shut down one of the state's largest minority-owned businesses. And 2 of Kanye West's upcoming European concerts have been canceled. Sky News reports scheduled June shows in Switzerland and Poland were called off for legal and review reasons. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Head to Waba Grill for $5 happy hour weekdays after 3 p.m. and try our new chili crisp dumplings paired with a premium beverage drink like our new strawberry watermelon lemonade energy refresher, both for just $5 only at Waba Grill.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The #1 storyline for Game 2 tonight in the Lakers playoff series against the Houston Rockets is whether Kevin Durant will be in the lineup. The 37-year-old Durant missed Game 1 Saturday with a bruised knee. The Rockets are listing Durant as a game-time decision. Durant is 5th on the NBA all-time scoring list. He leads the Rockets with 26 points per game. Despite Durant's uncertain status, the Rockets are still 4.5-point favorites to beat the Lakers tonight. 7:30 tip-off at Crypto.com. A.J. English is the new men's basketball coach at HBCU Virginia Union. English replaces Lester Butler, who became head coach at HBCU Winston-Salem State. English was the NCAA Division II Player of the Year in 1990. Later that year, he was a second-round pick in the NBA draft of the Washington Bullets. The Washington